In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt podcast,
we discover a new motorhome and campervan club.
In the news, the Motorhome and Caravan Show starts tomorrow.
And we answer your questions on immobilisers for insurance, a dealer experience, and speed limits after upplating.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights and expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans. And it's brought to you by thatleisureshop.com and sponsored by Ripe.
Now, I always say this, but if you're listening, remember to follow on your favourite podcast app. And if you're watching, please click subscribe and the little bell on YouTube.
Tomorrow, it's the Motorhome and Caravan Show at the NEC in Birmingham. It's not just on tomorrow. It's on until...
It's on all week. Until Sunday, actually.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big week. Yeah, we can't wait. Now, it's worth pointing out, though, and noting we've cheated. We are recording this in September because you may remember I'm in hospital at some point this month of October for surgery. So we are recording ahead of time. So hopefully I'll be at the show this week and feel well enough to sustain the whole week. So fingers crossed, I'm intent on doing it and hopefully I'll be there. If you see me being stretchered out, then you know what's gone wrong.
And it's a little bit more than an ingrown toenail, isn't
it? Just a little bit. I'm actually awaiting triple heart bypass surgery after discovering a blocked artery. So it was a bit of a shock when we found this out. So we have been recording podcasts a little ahead of time because I'm in for probably a 5 or 6 week period where we may not be able to record any. We are going to try and do a Zoom one, aren't we, as I'm recovering at home. So we keep you informed on progress. So yes, we are cheating. But nonetheless, as this is released, we are at the show this week. The team will be there if I'm not. And the orange bags are back. So we have fantastic 2 sponsors in Warranty Solutions Group and Motorhome.finance who have helped us fund the orange bags so we can give you them for free. So coming onto our stand, 9.32 in Hall 9, right in the entrance. Mrs. Motorhome Matt will be there, as will Fliss, and giving out the bags. And hopefully you'll be with us as well for a couple of days.
Hopefully, unless they cart me off and try and operate on me as well.
There's nothing wrong with you.
They might, you might end up with parts of me in you, said the actress to the bishop. Sorry about that.
What?
Now there's a ticket discount for you as well. It's mhmp.info/NEC 2025. That is mhmp.info/NEC 2025.
So if you've not bought your ticket yet, you can get a discount if you buy it before the day you go. I got a bone to pick with you.
No, what?
Last week, we were talking about duct tape.
Yeah, no, you mean, yeah.
And I said to you,
Gaffer
it's called...
tape.
Or gaff tape, but I called it duct tape.
Yeah, and I said, no, it's not.
You said it's duct tape.
It is.
Duct tape is a brand, like Hoover, or for a vacuum. It's actually duct tape.
So hang on a second. So you buy this tape for your ducts, do you?
For your ducting, yes.
Yeah. How many pieces of ducting have you used duct tape on?
Well, never, but how many ducts have you gaffered up?
Gaffer tape, it's the head electrician on a film set.
And also, gaffer tape is the term used in the UK. Gaffer tape, so the gaffer on a film set, the electrician, is the American term.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong then. No. A gaffer, this sounds like AI to me. It sounds like it does. It sounds like they make it. Computers make.
Check last week's episode for what on earth we were talking about.
So you were right.
Yeah, I'm always right.
But I was more right than you were.
No, you're not. You're not righter than me. This episode is brought to you in partnership with a Motorhome Matt approved brand, Motorhome.finance, powered by Creative Funding Solutions. Motorhome.finance offer straightforward personal finance for anyone looking to buy a motorhome, campervan or a caravan with a service that's frankly refreshingly human. In the run-up to and during the October NEC Motorhome and Caravan Show, they're offering some cracking deals too. Just 7.9% APR on lends of £50,000 and more, and 8.9% APR on loans of £15,000 or more. And if you complete your finance deal before the show, you'll get 2 free tickets to the event. Terms and conditions do apply, and as ever, finance is subject to status. So, if you're planning your next leisure vehicle purchase and want really competitive rates and someone who will actually pick up the phone, head to motorhome.finance.
So, the main point of today's podcast is to talk to somebody very special with something very new.
It is very new, and I love this. So I'm always trying to find innovation in this wonderful pastime of ours. And I bumped into a guy called James Forrester, and James had set up something called the Van Club. Now, that sense of belonging and sense of community within this pastime is really important. One of the best things for me about going to shows and going to events is meeting you. People with a shared love for motorhoming and campervanning. And there's a real sense of community on a campsite. We're always quick to help each other out. Quite where it goes wrong on social media, I'm not sure. But James set up a brand new club, which he's called the Van Club, and it is growing at a heck of a pace. Now, it's worth commenting that the Camping and Caravanning Club, long established, are celebrating 125 years next year. But they're not going to be at the NEC show this week, which is, I think, a shame.
That was a big shock, wasn't it?
It was a big shock, and they're not going to be at the show in February. So I was fascinated that James saw the need for a new club. He's called it the Van Club, and I asked him why. James, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. Why have you set up another camping membership club?
Could be a crazy idea, that's for certain, but thank you for having me. It's great to be at the Empire at last and have a look at what you've got. Yeah, I thought I'd like that. It's a good little tour around. It was spotting a gap in the market, really. I've been motorhoming now since 2017. I think there's been a few changes. During lockdown, I think it changed the way people think and the way people act altogether for all different reasons. And it was just campsites. Look, campsites have gone very expensive, and I'm not here to knock campsites because I'm members of all different clubs and I stay on campsites. But I want value for money all the time when I go away. You know, I want to go somewhere where I meet a community, because I think if I just went with the missus, I would just argue all the time in the van, and I'm sure people listening in probably thinking we do that all the time because you don't have a lot to talk about really. You're with each other all the time. So I want to be with other like-minded people where you can share stories, different personalities, and then add a little twist to it. Bring back that community spirit, which as we're probably filming this, seems to be what is happening in the UK right now. The community is trying to bounce back, and we want this to be in the motorhome, campervan, van world of exactly what it was like in the 60s and 70s and early 80s when I was growing up, going out in vans. So that was the whole point of setting it up, and to have great times.
I love that. Now, I want to unpack the twist, but let's just focus on the gap. So you say you saw a gap in the market. What was the gap?
I think the gap is you've got two massive clubs, which I'm sure I'm allowed to mention.
Yeah, Camping and Caravan Club, Caravan and Motorhome Club.
Yeah, members of both do exactly what they say on the tin from that. And then you look what else is out there.
So their business model, though, is they own campsites or manage campsites, and they drive membership to visit those campsites.
Yes.
They plus have lots of other spin-offs. You know, Caravan and Motorhome Club own Alan Rogers, which of course is a huge network of campsites across Europe. That's not what you're building, is it?
No, we're sort of doing a more affordable route, if I can look at it that way. So we do rallies, meetups across the UK. So if you were looking pretty much from Newcastle across to the Lake District, right down to sort of Somerset, right across to the north top of Essex would be our square if you looked at where we operate.
Okay.
Throughout that. Every other weekend we would have local rallies on that are hosted by the Van Club itself and our Van Club crew, as they like to be called. Live music at all the events. So that could be anything from show bands, it could be acoustic music. We've had line dancers, proper American line dancers for country-themed weekends. We may do themed weekends so people can dress up. People might not want to dress up when they come to this. It's absolutely fine. People can either get so involved or not involved at all.
Okay.
But the best compliment I've ever had at one so far is they left early in the live music, and you just think, oh God, what's wrong? And in the morning they said we're a bit older now, We can't stay up all night, but what we loved was going back to our van and listening to you all singing songs, laughing and joking. We wish we could still do that ourselves. And I thought, wow, that's exactly what we are here to do. And that's what we do, and that's what we've set up. We've also got CL sites coming from 2026, so certified locations. We've had a lot of inquiries coming through already, because this is a business. At the end of it, I'm in business. It is a social club if you had to look at this, but it has to generate funds. It's got to be able to pay for itself. And with the CL sites, one of the things that we do hear a lot of feedback is there's no marketing for them. There's no real drive to drive traffic to them apart from if you search for it online. So I'm going to put my marketing brain together with some others, and we're going to start driving traffic to the CL sites that are with the van club under our license.
So you're building a community of people then, members
Yes.
of this entity you've called the van club,
Yes.
who then meet up at various places throughout the year, throughout the country, and you're utilising campsites and other venues to get together, camp out in your vans, and you're laying on some entertainment as well. And presumably there's a cost for this weekend event every time.
Yeah.
So is it a bit like then... I suppose it's a bit different to the Warner shows where we met.
Yes.
And you doing all the Warner shows where you're exhibiting.
Yes.
To help drive membership sales. But it's different to that. There's no trade area.
Yeah, there's no trade area because we don't want it to be where people get mixed with trade and feel they might have to buy something or anything like that as well. This is purely getting together. There could be a 2-day rally. There might be a 3, 4-day, 5-day rally that we put on. And if we are doing longer than a weekend rally, we allow people to choose 2, 3, 4 nights.
Yeah.
Everything's priced per van as well, rather than per person altogether. But the key thing for me is people can come and they can have live music. They feel involved. They feel part of it, rather than just maybe being a spectator. Now, don't get me wrong, the Warners is great value for money. I'm a very big Warners fan.
Yeah,
so
same.
I think they're great value for money, and it's very hard to beat them. We're not looking to compete with them. What we do is a much, much smaller scale, much more intimate. And I think we get a lot of inquiries from single people or people who may be now travelling on their own, and they're a little bit anxious, they're a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
They've just bought a motorhome or a camper van or a van conversion, because we don't discriminate of what type of van you have. And they just want to meet other like-minded people, and they can start to join in the fun. And I have always said this to friends of mine who have said, we're going to buy a motorhome. I've said, well, when you're going to go away, go with somebody who's got one first, because the experience is a lot better than if you just go on your own first.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true. So this is a way then for people to find community and make new friends.
Absolutely.
One of the things I often hear is people say, we're buying this motorhome, but we don't really know where to go in it. Where do we go? How do we plan a trip? So you're giving people purpose with their travel planning. And giving them destinations and events to go to.
Yeah, exactly. Look, regardless of what type of van you've got, they're designed to put mileage on them. That's what they're for. They are designed to get miles on the clock. So we do them all over. They're not just fixed in a certain area. They are all over. And people like it. It's taking you to different areas of the UK that you may have not seen. You're meeting different personalities. That's why I said we don't discriminate on the van. We've got vans. We've got everything from a Postman Pat van, where a lovely gentleman, Andy, who'll probably be watching this, I think he has just sold it and he's converting another one at the moment, but we've had that right through to not one but 2 double-decker buses.
Wow.
Who are members, and everything in between. So your large motorhomes, camper vans, your typical van conversions,
And you've got big death lefts, haven't you?
Yes.
So they're welcome as well.
Death lefts owners are welcome, yeah.
No, but I mean coach-built, factory-built motorhome.
Absolutely.
It's not just about self-built, it's anything.
Anything that's self-contained as a van
Yeah.
can come. And we have a lot of VW owners as well.
Okay.
And that's nice, because what we do see is people might have bought a VW, they then think they want to upgrade, and they see what other people have got.
Yeah,
so
of
they
course.
might think, well, I just want to get a self-van conversion, and convert it myself. Some people are quite happy keeping their VWs, but they don't just always want to go to VW shows all the time. They want to meet other different people and different personalities, and that's what we bring in.
So you say self-contained, so you have to have a toilet on board and your own water, is that right?
Take your own water and your own toilet.
Because you're not always on sites with facilities. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the way the license works. Effectively, you've got to be self-contained. Nearly everywhere we do an event will always have toilet facilities, though.
Right, okay.
Typically don't have showers, so that's why ideally you're able to shower, obviously, in your own vans, but even if there's not one in the van, I've seen people put the tents up at the back and have showered and do what they need to do. There's so many different accessories out there.
Fresh wipes are the answer there, I'll tell you.
Fresh wipes as well.
They're brilliant. You can buy them at thatleisureshop.com. Shameless plug. They are superb. So you say this is a business. I just want to unpick that a bit. You are a businessman. You've been in property a very long time.
Yes.
And not just here in the UK, but you've done property worldwide, haven't you?
I've sold property in 36 regions in 18 countries over my career.
So what possessed you then to launch the Van Club?
So there's a little bit of a story to this. So, and we came back from Spain, because I used to live in Spain for quite a while, which is where I met my wife and my kids are born. We came back and we went tent holidays. You know, we'd come out of financial crash. You are sort of starting again to sort of rebuild. And obviously coming back from a different country, you are changing your habits. And we were down in the south of France with friends of ours camping at a yellow campsite. Great value for money, by the way, for them. Great entertainment, and our kids were quite young at the time.
Great for the kids.
Great for the kids. And I'd gone to a vineyard, as you do over there, and bought a few boxes of wine. And the last 24 hours, they'd all gone up to the pool, and I was actually coming up, and I said, no, I'm just going to rest. I want a bit of time for a bit of James time, just to chill out before the long journey back. And my wife said he's panicking of how to fit everything back in the car and what's not coming back to save the wine. And in essence,
so the wine was taking priority.
The wine, I think, takes priority over everything. And she basically just turned around and said, I think we should buy a motorhome. And I was like, idiots buy motorhomes. Being in property, I said, all I see is motorhomes sitting in storage yards all the time. And I went, what a waste of money. Until I watched a French family beside me pack up, all the pop-up tents got chucked into the garage, and I think he was gone within half an hour. And I thought, maybe there's something to this. So, like any sensible person, you go to the NEC to tell everyone that you're not buying a van, and you end up signing one.
So what did you buy? What was your first one?
My first one was an Eldis 255.
Okay.
Lovely van.
Yeah.
Had the Aldi heating, and that's what we were always told, get the Aldi heating for the winter in the UK. And one of the best advices I've ever had. Lovely van. Did what it needed to do. We racked up about 50,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And then I changed it for another Deathless to the one that I have now.
Okay, and now you've got a Deathless Alpa.
I have, yes.
Which was designed by a Formula One driver. Did you know that?
I did know that, yes.
That's a lesser known fact. You probably knew that because I already told you.
I think it was you who told me, actually.
So tell us then, as a business venture, for you the finances are important, and you know how to crunch your numbers.
Yes.
And the landscape's challenging. You know, it really is for clubs. But you somehow think you can bypass that and circumvent that and build this. And you are, to be fair to you, you are growing this at a pace. You've hit a spot, because I think people crave community. They crave a sense of belonging, and they crave that kind of comradeship. And I take my hat off to you for innovating in this way. I'm always craving innovation. But what does it actually cost to join the Van Club?
So it's £35 a year currently to join, and they say that's per van. So that includes 2 adults, 2-3 children, a couple of dogs. For those who are watching, don't worry if you've got extra. Just let us know. We're not going to, sort of restrict you on buying another membership in regards to that,
or leaving the least favourite child at home.
Yeah, on that one. And then you pay for the rallies, and the rallies can range. It all depends on what we've got planned. Typically over a weekend, they would range from £40 a weekend up to, say, our New Year one, because it's coming up, which is also our birthday, which is £100.
Yeah.
But then you've got, on that one, for example, for £100 per van, you've got 2 nights of live entertainment and a great big buffet and some special gifts, because it is the birthday.
Wow.
We did launch at 12 o'clock at New Year's Eve.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday for them.
Thank you.
So the £40 weekend.
Yes.
That's what, 2 nights? Is there entertainment as well?
Yes, there's always entertainment on one night, and then there would be games and some sort of quiz or some sort of van club twist, as we like to call it, that would be put on as well.
And is that always a surprise? You've made it sound very mysterious.
Yes, well, you'll have the basics of it, and then we put the twist in between it.
Okay. I mean, there's not a bowl with loads of keys in it going on, is there? There's none of that?
I'm not sure most people have keys anymore.
That's true. So that gets you live entertainment. How many people have to go then? Because, I mean, you must have to sell quite a lot of tickets for that weekend to pay for the venue, the music.
This is where the number crunching comes into.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's a challenge.
You've got to be a firm negotiator. Naturally, the venues have got costs themselves. Also, though, it's also about their community as well, because I'm a big believer in shopping local. Rather than using all the big chains. And I think a lot of these places that we could go to could be local rugby clubs, cricket clubs, village halls, that really want to bring revenue into the area for their community as well.
Yeah.
So normally we can strike a good deal with them, which then allows us, with the pricing that we put on, to allow it to put the music on also. But we've learned a few things along the way.
Of course.
When you're applying for music, for example, there's certain words not to use because musicians might fry away from or sort of steer away from that because it's taken the wrong way, as we've just learned.
Go on, give me a clue.
So rowdy is not a word to use, I've been told. So rowdy from the northeast to me just means having good fun and, being up there. But rowdy to a lot of musicians, I've been told, means that they're a bit too much and you don't want to go to that type of gig.
Okay, right, interesting. Well, I never knew that. So what's the plan for the future then? We've got this. How many rallies do you have a year? So
for 2026, for what we're coming up, because we're already in the real planning now of that, we'll be doing between 50 and 60 rallies. That'll include some festivals in between this and some collaborations with some festival owners, as well as the trade shows on top of our club camping areas, and our overseas rallies. So this year we have France, where we're doing a wine festival tour.
You're off to Dunkirk, I understand.
We are, yes. So I've been going to the same wine festival since 2017. Altogether, apart from the 2 years we couldn't go. So a lot of members have seen the photos. They've drank the wine at my van and they like it, so they all want to come and find out where I'm buying it from.
Okay.
And then 2026 we've got Portugal in January, and then Greece later in the year in September, October.
So 26 is going to be a big year for the van club.
It's a huge year. As you mentioned earlier, we've been growing at pace. It's like anything. You start it and 20, 30 people join immediately and you think, oh, we're on a roll here, until you realise that they're all your friends.
Yeah.
On this, we are just about to hit, or probably when you put this out, we would have just hit 1,000 members within the space of 10 months.
That's incredible, James. That's really good. I take my hat off to you. I'm always craving innovation, and I always say, if you don't innovate, you evaporate.
Yeah.
In business, and it's the same in this pastime, and I welcome your innovation. I love the sense of community that you're trying to build and the offer you're giving people that makes their planning actually much easier. They say, well, let's go to that region, we've never been there, and let's have a weekend here. And presumably if people go and they find it's not quite what they thought or not for them, they can just head off and do their own thing, can't they?
Yeah, we have people who do turn up, and we always give them an itinerary. So we have what we call the Coca-Cola model. Everything should be the same. So it doesn't matter which rally you go to, it will be exactly the same as what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So when people turn up, they'll be given a handed itinerary to show exactly what is going on that weekend. For example, is there dog-friendly pubs in the area? If they could do boat trips, if it's in the summer months, for example, if there's local museums or something that could be going on in the area. So people feel that they'll go and go, oh, we could go and do that ourselves if they wanted to. And we always say you can be involved as much as you want with what we put on as the hosts, or don't be part of it at all and just use it as a base. It's entirely up to yourself. You're under no commitment whatsoever. And we do find that. We have people who want to be involved in every little part of it and want to be in for all the games, the dressing up. They might have 3 or 4 costumes throughout the whole weekend. They're up dancing first and the last one's off the dance floor. And then we will have people who just have high pressure jobs and we'll be going, we're using this, we're walking out the dogs, we'll listen to a bit of the music. That's good enough for us. Yeah. Absolutely fine for what we offer.
It's just a break from the norm, isn't it?
Yes.
It's brilliant. And I'm delighted that you are Motorhome Matt approved as a result of this effort you're putting in. Yes. And I'm really, really happy to put my name to this. So if you're looking for places to go or people to meet and you want that sense of community, then I commend the Van Club to you, and I think it's definitely worth joining. And there is a special offer too. You can find out more about the Van Club. Just head to mhmp.info/the Van Club. And if you enter the code Motorhome Matt on the website link to the Van Club, membership is not £35 but £30.
And a membership gift.
And a membership gift. There we are. So you heard it there first. James, thank you so much for coming in and sharing that. I wish you every success for 2026. And I will be coming on at least one, if not several, of your events during next year, once I get over a few health challenges of my own. And I wish you every success with your health too, because I know we're both sharing a few challenges at the minute. Just don't get old.
No, I think that's the key. Live the Peter Pan lifestyle, but unfortunately, we've got to, I think, shed a few pounds this side for me, and look after health a little bit better. Stop using the body, I think, is
seize the day, though, isn't it? You know, we put off going on these trips in our motorhomes. Just do it. Just get away, and the van club is a great way of doing that. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.
That's James Forrester. He's the founder of the Van Club. Why do we need another club, Matt?
Well, there we are. So it's all about growth of the community and choice for you, the consumer. So it's a great way to engage with people that love this pastime. You can find out more about the Van Club on the Motorhome Matt Approved directory.
I'm not very technical, Matt, so would NordVPN be a faff to set up for me?
Not at all. Download the app, tap one button, and you're connected. Simple. It works on phones, laptops, tablets, even your smart TV. And with threat protection built in, it blocks pop-ups, trackers, and dodgy sites before they even load. So it makes browsing quicker and cleaner too.
That sounds easier than setting up the sat-nav.
It's much easier. Head to the link in the description to try NordVPN, and you'll get a few months free on the 2-year plan and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
It's the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
It's brought to you with thatleisureshop.com and sponsored by Ripe. Time now for our Q&A, questions and answers, where you ask the questions and Matt, the expert, he answers them. And if he doesn't know, and let's face it, we demonstrated earlier on in this particular podcast that he's wrong a lot, that he will ask somebody who does know the right answer.
I'm going to use my gaffer tape on you in a minute.
So first of all, Adrian Hudson got in touch.
Hi Matt, hi Keith, it's Adrian from Hampshire here. Matt, really great to meet you at the recent Newbury show, and really enjoyed our discussion around lithium batteries and all things motorhome related. I promised at the time that I'd drop you a good news story because the industry does take quite a bashing, sometimes deserved, but not always, and I've got a really positive story for once. So we've got a Coachman motorhome. It's our second motorhome. We've dealt with 3 dealers over time-owning motorhomes, and 2 of them are no longer in business. And we had some issues with our Coachman after delivery. Normal warranty work, nothing major, but things that needed fixing. Unfortunately, we were high and dry. I spoke to Simon at Coachman at the NEC, and within 48 hours he had put John, their field engineering manager, in touch with me. John stepped in and has made sure the warranty work was all done with another dealer in the Coachman network, and has been absolutely fantastic in supporting us in getting everything resolved. Really grateful to Coachman, and a massive contrast in our previous vehicle in the manufacturer standing behind their products and helping get customer issues resolved. So thanks very much. Keep up the good work. Love the show and can't wait for the next podcast. Bye.
Thanks very much, Adrian. Adrian there, he's still in his little cupboard under the stairs. He has to whisper because the missus won't let him in the living room. But, he'll get there in the end. So some good news from Adrian.
That's brilliant. I love that Simon and the team from Coachman are so accessible at a show. You can go on their stand and speak to them. And that's the case with actually many manufacturers. Lots of their senior teams are there at the show and are happy to speak to you. And these manufacturers, often they do get a bad rep, especially when it goes wrong for the owner of the vehicle. But yeah, hats off to Coachman. Thanks for sharing that, Adrian. I love Coachman as a brand. I remember discovering them years ago at the Dusseldorf Caravan Salon show, and there was a brand there called Kabe, K-A-B-E, and Maddie and I were wandering around, and I went in them and said, Maddie, these are amazing. And I picked up the brochure. I'm really quite taken by them. And it then turned out and transpired that Kabe had bought Coachman, and Coachman are built in Sweden at the Kabe factory. An amazing product. So yeah, hats off to Simon and the team. Thanks for sorting Adrian out, as I'm sure you do lots of your customers. So a great shout out. Thanks, Adrian.
Cheers, Adrian. Mike's in Nottingham. He says Ripe declined to quote him as his immobiliser was factory fitted and not aftermarket. He says he thinks that's very strange. And many thanks. Keep up the good work with the podcasts.
Yeah, well, Ripe have actually just changed this. And they came back to us with this response and said, thanks for letting us know, Mike. We talked about immobilisers in our recent episode with Matt. It's a hot topic, so we're always keen to answer any questions about this. When you did your quote, you will have been given a choice of 2 options for your immobiliser, factory fitted or Thatcham.
Ripe went on to say, depending on the make, model and value of your van, if you selected factory fitted and were declined, there will be a valid reason for this. However, a lot of people aren't aware that a lot of factory fitted immobilisers are actually category 2 Thatcham, and therefore Ripe would accept that.
Yeah, that's very true. As this is something that's really important, we've listened to the feedback, and as a result, we've made some changes. During the quote process, if you enter your registration when prompted and you select factory fitted, it will now automatically recognise if it's a Thatcham approved based on your vehicle details.
Yeah, which is handy. They say, we are hoping this change helps customers so they don't need to find the answer themselves. And Mel from the Ripe team says, thank you for the question.
That's a brilliant change. Well done, Ripe. Essentially, these 2 options were confusing people and causing them to select factory fitted without them realising that their factory fitted immobiliser may actually also be Thatcham approved. So they were declined and they didn't need to be. So I'm really happy that the feedback from our listeners has helped drive this change and that Ripe are once again ready to listen and adapt to make it easier. And remember, you can get 15% off your premium by clicking the link in the episode description.
Phil Richardson's in Manchester. Hi, Matt. I have a speed question after upplating to 4,000 kilograms. Previously, because the unladen weight was below 3,050 kilograms and still is, it was the same rules as a car. Now it's plated to 4,000 kilograms, but the declared weight is unchanged. Have the speed limits dropped, and can I still use fast lane, overtaking lane on a motorway? Thanks,
3.
says Phil.
Are you one of those?
Everyone
Calls it a fast lane.
Well, they're wrong. And you see people on the motorway, and I'm in the left-hand lane.
Get the duct tape.
Diddling along at 70 miles an hour. And then you see somebody, usually in a red German car, come shooting up with a lane between you and them.
Shooting up?
Yeah. And they're doing it because they think they're driving fast. They should be in the fast lane.
It's because they're in a BMW.
Not a fast lane. It's the overtaking lane. You go into it to overtake and you move in. For heaven's sake, it's not complicated.
Can someone lift his soapbox away, please? So it's actually lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. No such thing as an overtaking lane. It's lane 1, lane 2, lane 3.
I was always taught it was a 2-lane road with an overtaking lane.
Okay. Well, that's when the world was black and white. Anyway, back to Phil. So the reality is, yes, because your curb weight, 3050, has not changed, your unladen weight has changed. That's what determines your speed limit and whether you can use the outside lane. In fact, it just determines your speed limit. So because that's not changed, yes, nothing's changed for you. So, and I also did check this, a shout out to Fliss, the trailer lady. I said, can you just help corroborate this for me? And she's a driving expert, despite the fact her husband crashed my BMW Z4 the other weekend, but we won't talk about that. And she said, yes, Phil can still travel at same speeds as a car.
There you go. So, how do people get in touch then, Matt?
We would love it if you did. If you've got a question, please ask it, because I no doubt it's shared by many others. Head to mhmp.info/ask Matt, fill in the form and we'll read it for you, or record it with the orange button, but please tell us where in the world you are.
And if you're looking for trusted brands and services, then make sure you visit the Motorhome Matt approved directory. It's at mhmp.info/approved.
And if you're listening, please remember to follow on your favourite podcast app, or if you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe and the little bell. And we will see you in Birmingham.
Hello. That's my Birmingham accent, by the way.